Hey everyone and welcome. Today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the world of one of the ocean's most incredible and brilliant animals, the orca. They are just so powerful, so complex, and honestly, absolutely fascinating.
All right, so let's just get the big question out of the way right from the start. When you look at this amazing creature, what do you call it? Is it the famous killer whale, or is it maybe something else?
And the answer is that it's actually a dolphin. Yep, that's right. Despite that very dramatic name, killer whale, orcas, or Orcinus orca, if we're getting scientific, are officially the biggest members of the entire oceanic dolphin family. It's one of those cool facts that tends to surprise almost everyone.
So, here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. We're going to look at how they're perfectly designed for ocean life. We'll explore all the different kinds of orcas out there. We'll get into the incredible power of their family groups, or pods. We'll try to understand their mastery of sound, and we'll wrap up with a peek into their shockingly complex cultures.
First up, let's just take a moment to appreciate the incredible design of the orca itself. I mean, its body is a total masterpiece of natural engineering, basically sculpted to make it the undisputed top predator in the sea.
You know, everything about them is built for a specific purpose. Their torpedo-like body shape, which is called fusiform, lets them just slice through the water. And their iconic black and white coloring? That's actually a brilliant form of camouflage, called countershading. If you're looking down from above, their black back just melts into the dark water. And if you're looking up from below, their white belly blends in with the bright sky. They've got a super thick layer of blubber for warmth and energy. Their side fins are for steering. And of course, that massive tail, or flukes, gives them all the power they need.
And here's a really cool tip. You can often tell a male from a female with just a quick glance at their dorsal fin. An adult male, also called a bull, has a fin that's super tall and triangular. A female's, or a cow's, is quite a bit shorter, and it curves backward in a shape we call falcate.
So just how tall are we talking for a bull orca's dorsal fin? Well, it can reach up to 6 feet. To put that into perspective, that's as tall as a person, or a standard doorway. It is the tallest dorsal fin of any animal in the ocean, and what's really wild is that it's made of dense tissue with no bones in it at all.
And their teeth? Just as impressive. An adult orca has somewhere between 40 and 56 interlocking teeth, and each one can be up to 4 inches long. But what's key here is that these teeth aren't for chewing. They're designed specifically for gripping onto slippery prey and tearing it into smaller chunks. Okay, so we've got a handle on what an orca looks like physically. But this is where the story gets so much more complex. Because, as it turns out, not all orcas are created equal. And this brings us to the really fascinating concept of ecotypes.
So scientists have discovered that there are multiple orca ecotypes. You can almost think of them like different cultures or even different breeds. These are distinct groups of orcas that might look a little different, they don't mix with other groups, and they have totally different lifestyles. They specialize in very specific diets and hunting tricks that get passed down from one generation to the next.
Let's take the orcas in the North Pacific as a perfect example. You have the resident orcas, who eat almost nothing but fish, especially salmon. They live in these big, very chatty family pods. But swimming in the very same ocean are the bigs, or transient orcas. They hunt marine mammals, seals, sea lions, you name it. They travel in smaller, stealthier groups, and they are way quieter so their prey doesn't hear them coming. It's like 2 completely different worlds, all within one species.
All of this naturally brings us to one of the most incredible things about orca life, the power of family. You see, for an orca, the pod isn't just some group they hang out with. It's everything. It's their entire world.
Orcas live in what's called matrilineal pods. What that means is the whole group is led by the oldest female, the matriarch. She's the boss. Her knowledge of where to find food and how to survive is absolutely critical for everyone's success. And what's truly amazing is that her kids, both sons and daughters, the calves, they usually stay with their mom for their entire lives.
And this long life is so important. These older female orcas can live for decades, even after they're done having babies. They act as these living libraries of knowledge for the whole pod, guiding and teaching generations of their family.
So what do you do in dark or murky water where your eyes aren't much help? Well, if you're an orca, you rely on an unbelievable biological superpower, the ability to literally see the world with sound. So how does this amazing sonar actually work? Okay, first, the orca makes a bunch of clicks using these things called phonic lips up near its blowhole. Then, that sound gets focused into a beam by the melon, that's the fatty part of its forehead. That sound beam shoots through the water, hits something, and bounces back as an echo. The orca actually receives that echo through its lower jaw, which sends the signal to its brain, creating this incredibly detailed picture of everything around it.
And what's so wild is that they don't even make sound the way we do. We use vocal cords. Orcas, on the other hand, push air between different sacs in their head to vibrate those phonic lips. It's a completely different system, one that's perfectly built for a life spent underwater.
Okay, we've seen their incredible physical design, their different lifestyles, their unbreakable family bonds, but this final section, this explores what might be the most mind-blowing thing about orcas, their capacity for culture.
And listen, this isn't just instinct. These are learned traditions, passed down through the family. Some pods use what's called carousel feeding. They herd fish into a tight ball. Others, way down in the Antarctic, work together to create a huge wave to wash a seal right off an ice floe. And maybe the most daring of all, some orcas in Argentina will literally slide themselves onto the beach to grab a sea lion pup. These aren't things every orca knows how to do. They're unique pieces of cultural knowledge.
But does this orca culture go beyond just hunting? I mean, could they have something that we would recognize as a fad, a trend?
The answer is a mind-blowing yes. Back in the 1980s, scientists witnessed this bizarre behavior that just spread like wildfire through one specific population. They started carrying dead salmon around on their heads, like hats. There was no practical reason for it. One orca started doing it, a bunch of others copied it. It was the cool thing to do for a few months, and then, just as quickly, they stopped. A genuine cultural fad.
And that's not a one-off thing either. We're still discovering more. Just recently, scientists saw orcas passing pieces of kelp back and forth to each other, almost like they're using it for social grooming or maybe even a massage. It just proves how much we still have to learn.
So let's end with this thought. Orcas aren't just one single thing. They are a global community made up of distinct, intelligent cultures. They teach each other, they learn from each other, they cooperate, they even invent new things. Thinking about that really forces you to reconsider where we draw the line between just animal behavior and true culture. It reminds us that there's still so much to discover about the other incredible minds we share this planet with. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.